I think we're live. We're back here at IMX 2025 in Nashville. We're back on the Marine Inland Insights podcast here at IMX. I am excited to welcome Mr. Michael Breslin to the show. Thanks for coming, man.
Oh, no, thanks for having me, Patrick. Excited to be here. It's my first podcast, so very excited to do it with you, with HealthWorks, and at IMX. It's a great venue to open up my podcasting career. But yeah, as you said, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm Michael Breslin. I'm the Senior Director of Safety and Sustainability for the American Waterways operators. And what we do, we represent the tug and barge industry in advocacy and in safety. We speak with the Coast Guard and different regulatory partners to try and get the best thing we can for our mariners and make sure our navigational channels are maintained and safe. And so yeah, I'm excited to talk about some of those things with you today.
Me too, man.
Partnering.
Me too, man. Yeah, I know we're working on a few exciting things together too. I kind of zooming out here just a little bit, you know, one of our main initiatives here at IMX this year is to really just highlight the people, the ideas, the organizations that are really just driving innovation in the maritime space. Obviously, AWO is a critical part of that in a variety of facets. You guys are checking those blocks on a variety of fronts, but would love to just kind of unpack a little bit with you, like maybe specifically from your lens or your foxhole, what are some initiatives at AWO that get you excited right now?
Sure. Well, you know, we've had a change in the administration, and every time that we have that, we have to learn the new administration, introduce ourselves to them, and make sure they know about the maritime industry.
Sure.
So this is a real great opportunity for us to go in and meet the new senators and congressmen and lawmakers and talk to them about why it's important to support the maritime industry, which is, of course, the economic engine, you know, of America, and what helps us have American dominance in maritime is the fact that we have the hardworking men and women that are here today moving these products that are critical for our economy. So my role in that, some of the things that I'm excited about that we're doing, is we got to have a good message of safety. We got to make sure that we're safe. We got to make sure that we have good navigation and people are trained right. And that's what I support. And being able to tell that story about how we are the most economical way to move bulk transportation in America, how we are the safest way to move that cargo in America. We need to be able to tell that story in a way that that somebody can understand. And make sure the new administration and every administration understands how important it is what we do. A couple of things that are going to be coming out soon that AWO is doing, you know, they're all based in data. That's where we're going with everything that we're doing. We want to make sure we can back it up with data. So we've got a couple of big projects coming out. The Fall's Overboard Report is something that we've been working on for a while. We took data for 10 years from members about their falls to water. We looked at all the different factors that led to those, the mitigating factors to prevent them, and we compiled a report, and I think it's a really good report. We're looking forward to putting that out, and the Coast Guard is going to help us promote that. We're going to do some events, hopefully have an industry stand down for safety type day.
Okay.
We'll announce more about that soon, but that should be coming out in June for sure. And then our recreational boater safety is really taking off and doing some really exciting things too. I'm about to go film a movie.
Whoa,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, in Miami. I mean, it's a 1.5-minute long film, but we're going to film some safety stuff with the National Safe Boating Council about multi-use waterway safety. And where better to do that in Miami? We've got a couple of member partners who are going to have their boats there. We're going to have a couple of recreational boaters and actors driving those recreational boats. And we're just going to simulate some of the problems that we have on our waterways with just unlicensed mariners, people who are out there to go fish and have fun with their families, to have a great day on the water. We just want to make sure they're aware of what we do and some of the ways they can get in trouble if they get into the wrong places around commercial traffic. We want them to know what we're intending to do and learn a little bit more about their.
That's all. Michael, I never really thought about. I mean, when I think of AWO, I mean, it's easy to think about like the commercial side, right? Like, but the recreational or the civilian side, I mean, that's on the waterways too, right? Like I didn't know that you guys were really involved in kind of advocacy for those types of programs, but it makes sense. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the advocacy, I think, is more for the commercial side of it.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is make sure that, I can support that by trying to prevent some of those incidents that might happen between a commercial vessel and a recreational boat. And everything I do is led by our members. They give me my marching orders, so to say. We have a strategic plan that's put together by the membership, by the board of directors. And that filters down and creates working groups that work on individual things. One of which we'll talk about a little bit, our data program that we're partnered on. But the safety leadership team, which is made up of inland and coastal folks that are in safety departments around the country in their towing businesses, they look at the problems of the day and kind of give me an idea about what they want to improve on or what they want to work on to get the word out. And that's how the recreational boating thing came around. They said, we're having too many recreational boat and commercial boat incidents, and we want to find a way to stop it. So
I love it.
So that's where it came from, man.
I love it, man. Well, what else? What else we want to dive into while we're here today as far as topics or discussion?
I tell you, tank barges. Tank barges are an interesting project right now, and it comes back to data again. So what we're doing there is, we interact with terminals, and of course, whenever you're interacting with another sector, somebody who's they're facility based, they're not mariners.
Yeah.
They don't always speak the same language that we do. So we've been working a lot with our majors like the oil companies, Shells, Exxons, and we have our tank barge subcommittee, which is a group that's dedicated to tank barge issues. And one of the things we're doing with them right now is collecting high value near misses that happen at terminals.
Okay.
And then we have a whole program to reach out to the safety managers at those terminals and talk to them about the near misses to see if we can prevent incidents.
Yeah.
Now, once it gets to the incident phase, I'm not going to get involved in lawyers. I'm not going after those.
Yeah.
But certainly, if we have an opportunity to take a near miss, talk to the terminal about fixing whatever it was that led to that, on a one-on-one basis, we think that we can bring value to that as the American Waterways operators, because we take the actual tankerman or towing company out of it, so there might not be any contract concerns or something like that, and kind of step in and represent them, which is what they pay us to do, right?
Yeah, man. I love it. I know one project that you guys are working on that we're particularly excited about to partner on with you guys with. I don't know if you want to kind of tee that up and we can jump into it. Yeah, go ahead.
So, learned about you from American Commercial Barge Lines.
Yep.
A guy named Patrick Cheremy does their safety over there, and he and I have been working on a lot of projects together, but we were talking about lost times and reportable injuries one day. And your HealthWorks came up in the programs that you do for them. We started doing, of course, a little bit of research on you guys. Heard about Dr. Turnbow's role on the National Merchant Mariner Medical
Advisory Committee.
On the medical committee. And we know that, unfortunately, this year some of the FACAs have been paused for a little while. We hope to see them come back. But knowing the pedigree of Dr. Turnbow and the things that you're doing, Patrick, and the things that HealthWorks is doing, we wanted to kind of look at ways that we could see if there was a way for us to reduce incidents, if there was a way for us to reduce lost times with any of the programs that you guys had.
Yeah.
And so that's what led to our conversation starting up. We involved a couple other members. It wasn't just American Commercial Barge Lines. What we're doing with that is we're looking at the data that you've collected with your remote medicine program.
Yep.
To see if there's a way to see if we can prove with data and with facts that having remote medicine on the boat can potentially prevent lost times, can potentially prevent reportable injuries in some cases, and can also get care to mariners faster, right?
Yeah.
So we avoid some of those longer term, maybe chronic injuries if we're able to treat the acute one quickly, right? Now you have all that information, so you want to talk a little bit about your program, and I'll maybe fill in the back end about how we're going to compare it?
Yeah, thanks. When we first started this discussion, we just rounded out a 5-year case study where we've completed almost 10,000 onboard, on-vessel telehealth encounters across the nation, all inland vessels and operations. And we got some really neat data as far as the trends and outcomes that we're seeing related to medical activity and encounters taking place on our riverways within our vessel operators. And from our perspective, that silo is pretty narrow, right? Like, we're medical providers. We're really not integrated into the operational side of the companies that we're supporting. We kind of have a laser focus, bucket that we're supporting and managing on behalf of our clients that we support. But when we started connecting with AWO and just kind of socializing some of this, I thought it was really interesting. Like, well, man, we have a unique opportunity to kind of sync data from the patient-facing clinical side of what we know is taking place on vessel against the back-end side of what you guys are seeing through the operations piece, some of the other reportable channels, and see if we can bring clarity and insight and maybe best practice from that data picture. So
Right.
did I tee that up right?
I think that's great, and that's
Yeah.
exactly it. The aggregate data that you're able to provide, because I don't want anybody who's listening to this to think that we're getting their names out
No
there.
PHI. This is a double-blind study where everything's being sanitized and scrubbed, and we're sharing incident types and outcomes. No,
Right.
personal information, etc. So
And then the same thing from us, right? We're taking the aggregate data from our membership, and we know a couple of our members that have pretty exclusive deals with HealthWorks to handle all of their claims. So we've been able to partner with a few of those members to get some data from them that we're going to, of course, anonymize and present in an aggregate format. But if we can look at it, is there a difference? Is there a way to keep mariners healthy, keep them on the boat, maybe potentially avoid some avoidable offboardings?
Yep.
That not only saves money, it gets care faster, and it's something that could reduce, like we talked about earlier, long-term injuries, chronic injuries, and those kind of things. So being able to compare the data that you have, that aggregate data, to the Safety Statistics Reporting Program, which is the American Waterways Operators Data Collection Program, what we're going to be able to do, and what we're excited about and getting together this summer, is that comparison of what is our aggregate membership's lost time injury rate, their days away, recordable, transferred, how many recordable injuries just straight away are they having? And then we can look at those cases where we know there was a remote medicine, onboard medicine program in place, and we can take that aggregate data and compare the two. And if there's a delta there, then that's when we get an opportunity to do some more deep dives, and maybe we get into some specifics in the future. But I think finding out that delta, finding out that difference is going to be important, and I think that there's one there. But we have to.
I think so too.
Go through
we
data
gotta.
first,
It's the whole null hypothesis, and we got to go through the analysis on it. But I think it speaks to a variety of other unique opportunities that the industry is facing, because big data is a common theme here at IMX. A lot of the folks we're chatting with, a lot of the panelists, a lot of the speakers are talking about it's almost data overload, right? Like we're being inundated with data from all different angles, from all these different systems, and like how can we create clarity within the data to synthesize it, to bring just almost like a common operating picture, right? Like how can we get these key functions, key initiatives that we're worried about as operators to give us the signals and information that we need to drive our operation. So that's what I'm really excited about with this initiative and this partnership that we're working on together. Is I think it's very meaningful. If we can bring some clarity and insight to just healthcare operations for keeping our mariners safe and healthy on the waterways, that's pretty powerful.
It is, and my background, I came from the boats. I started off on deck, and then through a series of events, ended up being claims manager for a large company in the New Orleans area for a while. So I've seen firsthand what it's like to go out to a boat at 2 a.m. and to sort of deer in the headlights is kind of how I felt sometimes. I don't want to make a medical call out there when I'm looking at a young man or woman who just got injured on the boat. How am I going to look at that and decide what the appropriate care is? Having the ability to do that on board, I think, is something that's a benefit, no matter how you apply it. Just the ability to talk to somebody in the medical, field as soon as possible, I think is important. And I certainly would have appreciated back in the day when I was doing that. But that was a number of years ago. And now that we've finally gotten to the point where I think everybody is collecting the data, because, that took a while too. You're right. Now we have not too few data collections of near misses or too few reportable injuries. We've got a whole lot. And how do we filter that, like you said, and look at what's important? And so keying in on this issue of reducing, the time to get to care, reducing the time or the amount of times that you have to get off of the vessel, and hopefully reducing injuries in that way just by providing a better work environment for everybody, a safer environment, is what we're after. So.
Absolutely, man. No, I'm excited for it. I think later this summer is kind of our goal, where we're going to kind of start doing some initial kind of preliminary disclosures of our findings on that, hopefully. So for everybody listening, more to follow on that. What else, Michael? Anything else? Kind of closing, kind of comments, thoughts from AWO that you would like our listeners or attendees here at IMX to be aware of?
Yeah, well, I think that everybody has seen since COVID this slow ramp up of in-person events. I think we were all, if you've been on the circuit this year, so to say, you've probably been going to a lot of different cities and doing a lot of different events. And some of them are really valuable, and some of them maybe, don't work out that well. But one of the things, AWO just got done with our spring convention, which is where we go to Washington, D.C. with our members. We have an educational section. We're able to bring in people from the administration and talk to our members. That was really important. And then we go on the Hill, and we get to actually meet with the new administration, with the new legislators, and get to tell them about our issues like I was talking about at the top of this program. So just those in-person meetings, I think, while there has been a lot, and I'm kind of looking forward to maybe finding some normalcy in how many we're going to, events like this where we can get in touch in person and talk to people is where I feel that we get our most valuable inspirations about projects that we can get better at.
Sure.
It's only so many Teams calls that you can really pull new, meaningful insights out of. So I appreciate the opportunity with the Inland Marine Expo. I appreciate the opportunity the AWO provides to be able to go to those meetings and be around the industry, the same people that are doing the things that you're doing, and to talk to them in person about the issues that we're facing. Because at the end of the day, we're all competitors. Most marine companies are competitors as far as what cargo they're going to move and the prices and contracts. But a safe, navigable waterway is not something we're competing over. It's something we're partnering on. I spoke yesterday about Waterways action plans with a panel of experts that IMX was able to let me do, and I was excited about that. I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk to you about, the more recordable injury healthcare side of it. And these face-to-face meetings are what's valuable to me, and I hope to see more members and more new faces that I haven't met at meetings to come.
Yeah, man. Well, likewise, I appreciate you coming on. This discussion is just exciting all around. I know I enjoy this discussion, and I know our listeners are definitely going to enjoy this discussion as well. And Michael, thanks for coming on, man, and I hope you have a good rest of your IMX show experience.
No, thank you. And then if anybody wants to learn any more about the American Waterways operators, AmericanWaterwaysOperators.com, or you could email safety@AmericanWaterways.com, and be happy to talk more about the programs we talked about today.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.